I-14.
New production. Let's go.
Yeah, I-14, we ride. Killing on the map, noob life worldwide. Case, let's go. I'm I-14, yeah, the road stay live. Home of the killing and Snoops where the real ones thrive. Crimson and the cream, yeah, we built on pride. If you see us step through, better know that vibe. I-14, yeah, the road stay live. Killing is Snoops, we don't just survive. We lead, we serve, we keep hope alive. From the soil of the city, watch greatness rise. I'm I-14, home of the killingness. It's not like you haven't seen this. We the meanest, giving you this word like you need this. And we connected live from I-35, all over the city. Not like we trying to hide from 4th Street to Great Street and Rancid Drive. We vibe from the heart of Texas where the sun stay blazing. Killing, built tough, yeah, the grind stay crazy. Boots on the ground, but the vision stay navy.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and guests and do not represent the official views of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated or any of its chapters. Although the hosts are members of the fraternity, this podcast is not an official publication or voice of the organization. Our discussions are intended to promote awareness and encourage conversation about men's mental health through the spirit of the Are You OK initiative. We are not licensed mental health professionals, and the information shared is not a substitute for professional, medical, or mental health advice. If you are experiencing a mental health crisis, please seek assistance from a qualified professional or your local emergency services. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Welcome to Beyond the Letters, presented by the Newts, I-14 Newts, and the Columbus Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. This is a space where real conversation happens about brotherhood, leadership, pressure, purpose, healing, and growth, because who you are goes far beyond the letters. Today's episode is one a lot of brothers need. Even if you never say it out loud. Episode 4, The Strong Friends. We're talking about emotional burden of always being dependable, the one everybody calls, the one everybody leans on. But the question is, who supports the person supporting everyone else? Now moving on to the host. Let me introduce the brothers holding this conversation down. First, let me introduce to you today the teacher, the motivator, the brother who's bringing structure and clarity. We got Koach. Koach, go ahead and tell the listeners what's on your mind today and what you're stepping into today in today's episode.
Yo, I'm good, brother. Feeling good today. Just started back with football. I've been grinding. Getting back in the fall camp right now. I'm just about to get out of it as we go live into our scrimmage next week. But yeah, man, we're gonna get into some stuff today. Talk about some good brotherhood, good fellowship, and basically just being there for one another.
I like that. And next we have the realist, the raw voice, and the one who's saying what everybody else is actually thinking. We got Koncrete in the building. What's on your mind? What's your energy like today, brother?
Yo, hey brother, I am good, man. Most of you guys know that walking is part of my physical health and mental health. And today I did my little 5 mile walk, and just having the opportunity to reflect on life itself. I'm in a good state of mind. Happy to be here and ready to get this podcast started. Yo, two good news.
Yo, and of course, you got me, Big Country, holding down the facilitation, accountability, and the heart of the conversations. And today, we have again a special guest. We got a familiar face returning to the platform. He blessed us with the last episode, and he's back again to go even deeper than he did before. We have retired Army officer, creator, Silk State of Mind, and proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, representing the Omicron Phi chapter of Killeen, Texas. We got Shawn Silk Gilmore. Silk, Welcome back, brother.
Man,
Tell us
welcome back.
what you're navigating through right now.
Hey man, I'm doing great, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all, good friends of mine. Allow me to come back to this platform again and share some wealth of knowledge. Doing great today. Above ground. Doing better than I deserve, and I can't complain because nobody be listening. So let's get this thing started, bro.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Let's
Yes,
get it.
sir. You're right about that. Ain't nobody gonna listen. Maybe the weeds growing on top of you. But all right. So as we start off all episodes, you guys know how we do it. We started off with the brother check in. And Silk, I'm coming to you first. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing well today. Like I said in the intro, I can't complain. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I get to be amongst friends today and talk about a good topic. So, very motivated today, very enthusiastic, and I'm just ready to get this thing started and keep living. Just keep living.
All right, outstanding. Coach, how are you doing today, brother?
And blessed man, like Brother Silk say, man, blessed beyond what I actually deserve. But like I said, started football, excited to get this season going, excited to continue to do this thing with you guys on Tuesday. Man, let's get it going.
All
All
right,
right,
Mr. Concrete, talk to
talk
us,
to
man.
it.
How
How
you doing?
you doing?
Man, I'm
Man, I'm
good,
good,
man.
man.
Just happy
Just
to be
happy to
here,
be here,
brother.
brother.
Hey,
Hey, you know,
and
and
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling happy to be in this space. All right, so we're gonna transition this thing into what everybody's here for. We're gonna get into topic one. So the theme of today is gonna be the emotional burden of always being dependable. All right, so we're gonna start this thing off with the first topic, and it starts off with silent stress. Let's start with the truth. The strong friend carries silent stress, the kind that nobody really sees. So, still, I'm gonna come to you. Why do you think the strong friend hides their stress instead of sharing?
the strong friend has this stress because they don't have a strong friend to go to. Being a strong friend, I consider myself a strong friend. I don't have an outlet sometimes, and what I do is I mask what I'm going through because I got to take care of the brothers of the sisters around me, and that's just a generational thing that I think that that burden that we carry trying to take care of other people, and we don't have someone to go to ourselves. So that's one thing I say about being a strong friend.
Okay, okay, I like that, and I definitely agree with you on that one. All right, so Coach, just going off of what Silk said, I like you to jump in on that. Where do you see brothers silently struggling but still showing up for everybody else?
Let me put my strong voice out.
I'm back. But nah, man, you gotta enjoy life, man. Have fun. But anyway, I see basically to piggyback off what Silk was saying, man. I think it's a generational thing as far as when you're younger. I think it starts in the household of dependability, right? Like starts with your sibling. I think that it's always a certain sibling in the group that everybody goes to and depends on. I know for me, it's my brother, right? So anytime there was an issue or anytime there was a problem, I'm gonna call my brother up, I'm gonna text him, I'm gonna go in his room, hey, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he dealing with a bunch of stuff that he got to deal with on top of making sure I'm okay, right? And I think that's where the silence goes as far as because he knows that I'm going to look up to him at the end of the day, and I see him as this strong figure that always has everything worked out. He's not going to show me or tell me or even show a glimpse of I'm not okay or I got some stuff going on. I can't help you right. He going to say, you know what? You're gonna drop everything. I'm gonna make sure my little brother all right, and then I'll deal with what I got to deal with on the back end, right? And so I think it actually starts there with your sibling until going into adulthood, right? Going into real life, whether that's your job, whether that's fraternity stuff, whether that's your friendships, as far as you develop this type of outline for yourself of being that person that's dependable, right? You take on that title and you're dealing with all these life things that's hitting you, and then you still want to be there for everybody else. Right? They always say that anybody can change the energy of a room by how they present themselves. I can come into this room right now, be happy go lucky, joking around with you guys, and this, but suffering and depression as soon as I get off this thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take on it.
I like that. I definitely understand your perspective from the siblings, and I see where you're going with it when you talk about it starts from being the oldest and the burden of carrying being the oldest. You're that trial when it comes to your parents as well. So you kind of have to show your young siblings how to be resilient and how to be tough. But continuing the conversation, we're gonna transition to concrete. Why do you think strong friends feel they can't let anybody see them sweat?
Well, as far as a male perspective, echo. Men are taught to be dependable and not vulnerable. Uh, as many of us young men are taught in an early age, we can't show any weakness. You always want to, show strength, and being strong shows that you're not able to effectively show your emotions. Um, like also in leadership, like leadership can be lonely at the top, so we don't have nobody to talk to. And as a father or a provider, like you're here to provide, not to you don't really check in on your own self. So also you have a fear of being a burden to people. So a lot of men don't check in to another friend and say, hey, I'm having these issues mentally or financially. So I mean, we just been I would say molded at a young age just to show strength, and we don't want to reveal our weaknesses as a sign of manhood.
I definitely agree with you. The lyrics when I hear never let them see you sweat. Coming from Georgia, especially talk about Young Jeezy when he talks about thug motivation, never let them see you sweat. And the reason I think about that is because when you think about what he was saying, it wasn't in reference to this necessarily, however, but it talked about, in the application of it, it was uh pretty much trying to say stay calm in those hard situations, show no fear, show no don't be nervous, and even in people who you don't feel comfortable around, don't raise any type of suspicion so that they can't feel like they have any type of edge around. And I believe that just if you look even in lyrics like that, and you look at the message sent down, not just from being a man, but just in society, that just kind of goes into what it means to always be emotionally burdened, always being dependable. Is you can't necessarily have that vulnerable moment to give somebody or anybody the edge to see that they got to you, you know? Um, and I think that what that does is as you continue those cycles, it leads into emotional exhaustion, right? So as we transition to topic 2, talking about emotional exhaustion, uh, emotional exhaustion is not physical, but it's emotional. And strong friends get tired too. So Silk, what does emotional exhaustion look like for men who never stop moving?
What emotional exhaustion look like for men that never stops moving?
Yep. Stops
Um,
moving.
I'm gonna speak for what I've been through as a strong friend is isolation. Um, always being the one to answer the phone, always being the one to come to someone's defense. Tension, stress. Those are some of the things that, as a strong friend, that I have dealt with because you have so much on your shoulders as a strong friend, taking care of others, that you don't know who to go to in order to get that burden off of your shoulders. And then when those people that you're giving advice to, being strong for, they're going through things and they don't think about asking you how you're doing. So as time goes on, you just get more rocks and rocks put in the back of your bag, and at some point, it's almost like you feel guilty, or how can I say, almost mad that you can't release none of those rocks out your bag. So that's what I feel being a strong friend at times. So I'm gonna just speak for me what I feel. So that's how.
Definitely insightful perspective. Coach. So based upon what Shawn and his perspective and point of view and the insight that he brought, where do you see emotional exhaustion showing up in leadership, fatherhood, and or brotherhood?
I think that emotional exhaustion manifests in several different ways, right? And what I mean by that is, to answer your question, once you're always putting yourself out there to be there for people and being in those leadership roles and fatherhood and best friend and person to go to, you know, you not only does emotional exhaustion affect you mentally, it affects your body too, right? And you're talking about fatigue, right? You're talking about sleep disturbances, staying up 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Um, you're talking about loss of concentration. You're talking about, I feel like that's where minds start turning, right? You start getting into the rooms by yourself, and as they say, the walls start talking to you, right? And your mind just going 100 miles per hour. Um, and that's because you got all these things going on top of, man, let me make sure Tyler okay. Man, let me make sure Sierra got this. Man, let me make sure so and so got whatever, right? And you're going through all these things, and dang, I got rent due on Monday. I got to pay my car note on here. I ain't got that, right? So all this stuff is piling up at one time. I got to take my son to a football game. My son said he needed some gloves, but I just had to, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I think it manifests in becoming overwhelming and getting to the point of causing a deeper mental health issue, right? And that's when you get into that deep and dark place of depression. And so I would say, in order to prevent that, I think that there has to be a line between finding a balance between helping people and knowing when to be selfish.
Absolutely. Um, I definitely agree in building off of what Silk stated to what you stated is you have to set aside time to reset when it comes to that. And with that, so based upon what Silk said and Coach said, their perspective, Concrete, why do some men ignore the exhaustion until it becomes a crisis?
My bad, I had my mute. I was muted. But simply stated, we can identify what it is, what we're going through. We don't understand what being exhausted means. We've been taught to normalize it, saying that hey, this is part of being a father or a man or a leader. So we've been conditioned to push through pain and to be exhausted because that's we're taught to even in football. Like last time we been in the tackle and had a concussion, we were taught to get up, push through it. Or
Rough
we
and
was
dirt.
doing exercising, lifting weights. Hey, it's heavy, push through it. So those stuff is carried on into life. When we having like burdens on top of us and problems and solve us, we're told to push through those problems and solve it instead of trying to figure out why we're dealing with things.
Absolutely.
Ab- yep, absolutely. And my perspective on it is, everybody when in reference to or with respect to people's emotions and their mental, everybody has a cup, and everybody's cup, has a line, and that line eventually will be filled up. when you're constantly taking on other thing and being a stronger person, your cup just continues to fill up, and you don't have anything for yourself. And then when that cup gets to the top, there's nothing left. You have to find ways to kind of pour a little bit out so that you have something else for yourself to understand your own emotions, because once your cup is full, there's not really anything else to go. And as research has shown, people think exhaustion, they used to think that, oh, it only shows in one way. Well, now research is showing that being emotionally exhaustion, there's several different ways that can show up. So I think as research continues to show that it all depends upon the person. We just have to be there to support, and like Concrete always talks about, normalizing those conversations so that people know that it is okay to actually have those kind of, man, what in the world, man, y'all, hold on real quick, hold on, man, man, I gotta take this call. So I give me Eddie, man, she been calling me over and over. I kept trying to go up, but hold on, y'all, just give me a quick second. Hello?
Country. This is Miss Hattie Mae, baby. Is that
14.
you? I done called you 3 times. You know I don't signal. Oh, y'all recording?
Yes, Miss Eddie. We live on the podcast right now. Keep on.
Good, because I need to talk to these fraternal peoples you got on that show. Especially that boy Silk, the one that be hopping like his knees made out of rubber bands and Red Bull.
Man, you so funny. You crazy. Yeah. We got Silk on the pod. Yeah, he a proud member of Niggas Outside. Yeah. You know that's what they do.
No. I seen him at that cookout last month. He hopped so hard, I thought he was trying to churn butter with his ankle. I said, Lord, somebody get that boy a knee brace and a prayer cloth. Well, they need to do it slower. My blood pressure went up just watching him. I ain't got the insurance for all that excitement.
Man, you so funny. You crazy.
Hold on real quick. Come way over there and stop running through my house. A light I back. But listen here, country. Back in my day, them founders ain't have nothing but brotherhood, books, and biscuits. They built these organizations on love, uplift, and unity. So tell me this. When did the pendulum shift? When did brotherhood turn into who got the most money? When did folks start judging pockets instead of character? Some of these new folks act like you gotta show a bank statement before you show up to the meeting.
Yes, man. You know you always gonna come with the truth. You know that's true.
And country, you from Georgia. Ain't no one like y'all down South Georgia boys.
Yeah, you done said something in, Miss Eddie, man. You really asking a good question. You asking the real questions too.
So I know you're gonna say what needs to be said.
Oh yeah, we ready.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. I'm finna go make me some
Grandma, when that
cornbread.
cornbread gonna be
Y'all
ready?
be blessed.
All right, you be blessed too. All right. All right, y'all. My bad, man. That was so unprofessional of me. But man, Miss Hattie Mae, man, listen. Man, grandma be calling me sometimes. I be trying to tell her like we be in the middle of recording, but she don't like to listen. But you know what she did do though? I'm gonna have to fire some shots. Fire some shots. So I ready to get into it. She said
Get into it.
something. Y'all
Let's get
ready to get
into it.
into it? Okay,
Let's
so
get into
talking
it.
about the strong. Let's get into it. So when we're talking about the and the historic value of what our organizations were built on, I think it's safe to say that the bedrock of our built on brother. We have a lot of money, We had to create our own, weren't accepted in every room. What point did the pendulum shift from brotherhood to financial status and not being brotherly? We'll start it out with Silk.
I'm gonna say I'm an '80s baby, so I grew up around I grew up around the D9, coming from Georgia. Grew up uncles, the brothers, cousins, Kappas, Sigmas, and all. And I saw the pendulum shift in the early '90s, going into the mid '90s, and the shift that I saw, because I have two uncles one uncle is 76, bruh, and one uncle that's a 83, bruh. And what I saw with them was brotherhood. They didn't have a lot of money. We didn't come from a lot of money. But as time grew on and we stopped getting away from like-minded individuals, um, that's the biggest thing. These, like Miss Hattie Mae said, these fraternities were born on brotherhood and friendship and uplift. And right now, in the late 2000s, in these times, I'm just seeing my homeboy want to get down. I'm gonna put my homeboy. And I talk about this all the time. If I don't put my homeboy down, I still can go have a drink with him. I still will take care of him. You're just not meant to be a brother. And if you're a good friend, you should be able to tell your friend, like, hey, this thing may be for you. You just need to be a friend. But what we see is I'm gonna just get my homeboy in. I'm gonna just get this person in, or my doctor wanted to be a new, or my doctor wanted to be a Q, and he took care of me when I was sick. So next time we have a line, I'm gonna try to get him on, and that's where we start getting into the financial statuses and stuff. Now, keep in mind, as we've grown in America, our financial status and the education that we've been getting has uplifted the communities, and that's not a bad thing. I do like that black men, black women are very educated, getting doctorates, are very successful. That plays into today's
Bluetooth
society.
disconnected.
It takes money. It takes money to run things, but I think the main thing is that we're just allowing, and we're not picking like-minded individuals that want to do things. You just picking individuals that want to pick a shirt, and whatever the shirt they see, they want to be like that instead of bringing in the values that they have or what they can bring to the organization. And that's where you get all this turmoil, the dissension, or he look like a noob, but he don't look like a noob. But that's a Q, and that don't look like a Q. But we in the same organization, but this Q don't act like me, and I don't act like this Q. So where's the disconnect?
All right. I'm gonna transition this thing over to Concrete. What are your thoughts on what Miss Hattie Mae had to say?
Man, well, I'm new to the bond, so I would say this. From what I have seen, is that, especially when it comes to community service and socializing, people have always or tend to want to put their wallet before the work. So, prime example, I'm not speaking on the fraternity, just my opinion is that socializing builds brotherhood because you pledge, cross, or whatever doesn't mean that you're a brother. You have to come together as men to build that brotherhood. And if you don't come together outside of chapter meetings, you're not going to have that brotherhood. I came to the fraternity looking for brotherhood because I was at a low point in my life. I had lost my brother and my dad. I looked for that bonding piece. And when I came to the chapter, it was, I ain't going to say every brother, but a few brothers, became my brother. And, I have people that, they in the chapter. We part of the same fraternity, went through the same stuff, but we don't have the connection because we ain't spend a lot of time together. So in my opinion, if you're not willing to put in the work as a brother or a bruh or whatever you want to call yourself, maybe this ain't for you. Maybe you want to join a different organization, but My perspective is that being a part of a D9, you looking for sisterhood or brotherhood, and you got to put in that work to build that.
Absolutely. Okay, Coach, what got on it?
I think to piggyback off of what Silk said, it kind of comes down to increase. I think the increase in visibility and membership, versus quality membership. That's just my aspect of it. My opinion kind of goes into, instead of what a Kappa man is or what a Noop is, we kind of go into, man, if we get this many people or that many people and we have money to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Um, Also, I think with that, it goes into there's many other things like financial pressures that get into it. That can influence getting into more financial things, like whether it's having you know hangout spot or want to do things educational wise in school, like undergrad. I think that it's financial pressures to be able to raise money. So I think with the new generation and the new dynamics of the world that is going into, um, I think the culture has shifted from just being able to kick it at the house, with the brothers, to we got to raise money because of X, Y, and Z. This is needed, that is needed. etc.
Absolutely. And what I would jump on that is when you talk about emotional exhaustion and the strong friends, I think that we all need to get back to a place of brotherhood because in my personal opinion, when it comes to brother and sisterhood, um, we don't know what the struggle or what the reason for a person not coming around or, not being a part of their respective organization at that time, right? But I think that if we start with being brotherly and sisterly, we can at least work on bringing them back into the fold in some capacity. But everybody has a story and everybody has a reason. But if we don't at least start at the bedrock of what it is to at least get them to come back, I don't think that if you start the conversation with money, that's a good strategy to bring somebody back into the fold,
Mhm.
especially when you talk about emotional exhaustion, masking pain, silent stress. You don't really know what somebody is going through on the inside, and then the first time they're coming back, and we're supposed to be brotherly or sisterly, you're telling them there's 9 million different fees to come be a part of this organization again. That's not enticing, you know what I mean, to get that good within your organization.
I got a question for you.
What you got?
All right, so as far as being a fraternity, a lot of us have crossed in different areas. Some of us cross undergrad, some across alumni, and being close to a military installation, a lot of people transfer back and forth to these areas. So, how do you suggest, or what suggestion do you have for chapters, fraternities, or sororities to build that sisterhood or brotherhood?
Can you repeat that last part?
What are your suggestions? Hold on, the echo somewhere. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
I can.
I'm about to mute your mic.
So
Oh, so how do you a suggestion? How can fraternities, sororities build that sisterhood or brotherhood when they have come from different places and they have different paths? Some have cross pledge or whatever. Like, how do you fix that internally with your organizations? Your suggestions.
Coach.
I think that it just comes with going back to regularly being a brother, right? Fellowship, get to know each other, right? It's just like workplace. Workplace. If me and you work together and I don't never talk to you, I'm never gonna get to know you. I'm never gonna know what's going on with you. I'm not gonna know what you like, what you don't like, or where the common grounds are to build a real relationship with, right? And it's the same thing. with the fraternity. Everybody has different backgrounds. Everybody crossed somewhere else. Everybody has different jobs or majors or whatever the case may be. But if I don't actually take the time to fellowship with my fellow brothers, I'm never going to get to know them on a personal level. And I think that's where the question of country comes back into, right, is why has it shifted, right, the dynamics to financial status? I think that even though there are different ways that we can raise money, we still have to keep the fellowship in it. And I think that's what's kind of getting away, if that makes sense. I can't hear nothing you say
Um,
now.
yeah. I'm unmuted. So I
Yeah,
agree.
I was saying Silk. Did he have a perspective? I was asking Silk for his answer. Can you hear us? You got to unmute. Unmute yourself.
You still muted, bro.
I'm unmuted. The host muted
All
me.
right. Now you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. You can hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I just keep since it's concrete truth. I'm gonna go to silk state of mind. And I'm gonna ask you just to clarify. The question is, when brothers or sisters come into a different area, how do we get them back into the fold, or how do we um, show that brotherhood? Is that what the question is?
No. So the question is like I said, people come from different backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
and while you're in that chapter, like you tend to mesh with people who you know your sayings or who you cross with or you pledge with. So with being a mixture of people from different areas and different backgrounds, undergrad, alumni,
Uh-huh.
uh, how do you bring in that brotherhood or sisterhood in that in that chapter? People come from different areas.
16 years, I brought Omega my values and what I said when I was in the interest meeting, and everybody been through it. I want to do this and that and that. I did that, and I've been doing that. I've been financial for 16 years. I've been Shawn Gilmore as a friend. I'm always good to everybody. On this podcast, I'm the only Q on this podcast, but you all are my friends and family. I hang out with y'all. That's all it is. If you're not a good person, you're not gonna be a good brother or sister. And I'm just gonna leave it out there. It's no science or no books to read about this concrete. The reason why brothers and sisters don't come back or don't gel together is that everybody is want to click. Yeah, you got your good your newts that you hang with or the bros that you connect with, but I talk to all bros. Like, will I go to every bro house? No, I'm not gonna go to every bro house. I stay in my lane. Some bros are out of my lane, but they're still good people. I don't treat them differently. But you have some bros that, oh yeah, I make $500,000 a year. I can't talk to Silk because he only make $50,000 a year. You got some people that have that character in them. I can't change that, but what I can change is what I do. When brothers come around, when brothers PCS the Fort Hood, whether you undergrad, grad, made, unmade, paper, whatever. I don't get into any of that. And I know you shake your head, concrete, because that's where this is come. I don't care about all that. I'm not about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to you as a man. I don't worry about all that. I know how I came in. Everybody come in they different ways, but as a man, you're gonna treat people as a man until they show you something different. And that's just silk state of mind, concrete. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. All right.
Yep. I couldn't have said it better myself, Shawn. To be honest with you, it boils down to exactly what you said. You got to treat a person like a person. You know, every organization has their objectives, whatever you want to call it, and regardless of what that is, that's where it starts. It starts there, and um, fellowship. Okay, you might not be able to do a official thing in this setting, but you can have outings and things like that in other settings that are not official, and be brotherly. And like Shawn said, is, you know, you can be friends with the man. You know, it doesn't matter. All that other stuff doesn't matter, right? That's semantics. That's people who peaked out on life the day that they were born. That's not things that truly matter. What matters is how do you genuinely treat a person, and that's ultimately it goes down to your code of ethics, your values, and things like that. When you cherish that over everything, your light shines through far better than anything else. So if you just stay true to yourself, you know, that supersedes a lot of things. Just like Silk said, you hear people say all kind of things, and being honest, they come through, and you can't find them to this day, right? They just donate a lot of money to an organization. So, but I think that if you treat people like you said, like who you are, and be who you are, you get a much better outcome. You develop a much better bond. All right, all right. That was what you think about that, Silk. What you think about that?
Oh, y'all trying to throw some things at me today. I wasn't prepared for
Think
all
about it. What you think about
that.
it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. So. All right, we're gonna transition to masking the pain, right? So another part of being a strong friend is masking the pain, smiling through the struggle. All right. So this one, it's gonna be open on anybody that wants to respond to this one. So uh, why do you all think that people choose to smile through the struggle? Like, what is the historic value behind that? And why do you think that we don't want to show that struggle? Why do you think men don't want to show that struggle?
I mean, that goes back to what Concrete was saying, right? As far as like, as a man, you're taught to not be allowed to even show any type of emotion, right? And that started off going back to episode one. You know what I'm saying? When you a little kid, you 4 years old, you fall on the ground. My dad say, "Man, get your ass up. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Wipe it off. You a man. You a boy. Boys don't cry, right?" And that starts there. Then you go into middle school and high school on you get teased for trying to show emotion or being vulnerable, right? You got teased for it. And then don't get into a relationship at a young age and you be emotional and I'm pretty sure we all been there. You deal with a younger lady and she say, "Oh, you acting like a female," or you too emotional.
Oh, oh,
You
oh,
know,
oh.
all of that, all of that goes, all of that goes to, as a man, we're going to mask and hide all that in now. I'm not going to show that I'm dealing with something, that I'm feeling a certain type of way, or that going through anything because I want to maintain my masculinity to the world, right?
I can piggyback.
Oh yeah,
I can
definitely,
piggyback.
definitely.
So as far as me, from my perspective, as men, we're so accustomed to being the problem solver that we can identify when we have an actual problem ourselves. So
That's true.
that's one of the main issues that we use, like you said, we mask it with a smile. It's like a defense mechanism to
Mhm.
not to show the weakness, the frown, the discomfort that we're going through. So because we can identify our emotions at the time, we kind of mask it with the smile. And this is my son. I can speak on him. I remember he was a kid when he was like getting a shot. He would smile when he was in pain, like he just started laughing. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
his defense mechanism. And I can see that when you made that comment with the question. I like, yeah, that really is true. I think most men still do that to today when we're dealing
I
with
agree.
things in life.
Oh, most
You
definitely,
know,
most definitely, most definitely.
this specific topic literally pertains to the 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 conversation with Michael Beasley, right? And what he was talking about, what he was going through, as far as like he was going through all these things, and everybody was laughing and joking at him. So he had to cry in the shower, so couldn't nobody see his tears.
Hmm. That's deep.
Yeah, that is. I you know I would if there was data out there, I would beg to differ. There's probably most men do that when it comes to that. So with that, topic 4 is care and responsibility. I think it's safe to say that in summary, I think in the grand scheme of things, the heavy part of this entire conversation is that strong friends carry responsibilities that nobody else sees. And what I've learned through my life is that when people don't see you sweat, when people don't see the grit, when people don't see the grind, they tend to devalue the amount of work or how hard you're actually working or the actual struggle that you're going through. So I would raise the question is that do you think that as we move forward, is it more beneficial to show that side so that people understand the grit, the grind, or do we continue to show that it doesn't bother, that we're okay?
So I would say this, right? I would say different situations require different responses. So, for instance, you might have issues at home, at work, or even with your organization. You got certain people who you can talk to about things you're dealing with the organization, with issues that they can relate to and understand. Then you got things that you can talk to, people, friends that you work with that you can talk to. So my issue is when you have issues at home, who do a man have to talk to with issues in relationship wise? So we technically don't let those emotions out. We kind of hold those in. And that's some of the main burdens we carry as fathers, as leaders, or protectors, or providers. Those are issues that we don't ever like discuss. Now we can talk to our bros, or our noops, and about things going in the organization, or our friends at work, co-workers, about issues we're dealing with. But when it comes to like relationship wise, that's where we fell short as men by giving being vulnerable to people, opened up to people about our issues. But we don't want to look at as failures in relationship wise.
Yep. What
I
you got
agree
over
with
there, Silk?
100%, 100%.
Um, I I agree with what Concrete says, and personally, Concrete, I just want to say I had to basically you got to get out of we got to get out of the we don't need therapy or and things like that. And also, I'm in my relationship. I basically she asks me what's wrong. She basically gets it out. That's what you need. You gotta have some. You can't just run away from the person in the house. I used to like I'll mask and mask, but when someone is strong like what I have, they ask questions, and over time I got used to just saying what I had to say, and I realized over the past 3 years that I'm a better person because I let it out. I took those boulders out of my sack. The biggest reason I act the way I acted is because of my great grandfather. Racism, slavery is something that was passed down generation. And even in the military, I served 20 years. There was racism in segregation. Maybe not like my grandfather had to go through, but you build a certain type of performance. You have a performance of strength. It's not a just a character trait that you're in, inhabit where you're observing. over the past 100 years, it's also a survival tool. So what we need to learn how to do is we need to get the therapy. We need to get out of that survival mode all the time. We have to learn how to when to use your survival tool and when to put stuff. Hey, let me not go in my bag right now. But I think that from slavery, the black man has been taught to be the performance of strength. We have to be the man of the house. Like all of this is like something that was instilled in us 100 years ago, and it's just generation and generation. But I want to end off saying this is why when you don't open up country for those active duty, if you've been in the military, this is why that colonel, that sergeant major, that soldier that retires and gets out the army, and we have the top suicide rates because those leaders didn't have anyone to turn to, and this is that strong friend. That's that strong leader. This is why we have a high rate of suicide because we don't teach men, women how to deal with being that leader, that strong friend, that person to go through. So yeah, that's a big thing we need to learn how to do is just open up and just be one with yourself. Live in your truth. If you like to cry, cry. You know, if you're sad, sad. You can still be a strong friend and still be vulnerable. And I think that's what we need to work on as a generation, as men, as women. If you are a strong friend, you need to know that it's okay. You can cry, you can be vulnerable, and you can still take care of your friends, your family, your household, man of the house, and so forth. And I yield my time back to you, Big Country.
Absolutely. And what I like to summarize what you said is that people have to stop letting outside conversations measure or dictate the scale of whether they're hard or soft or things like that, or you're changed. You're still the person you are. I'm still Devon Robinson. I might choose to do something different, but guess what? I'm still Devon Robinson. I'm still Big Country. I really didn't change. Might have shifted something, but I'm still me. Just because you choose to do something different, it doesn't deviate that. And that's what they gotta stop that. They gotta stop that mentality that because I chose to do this, I am no longer that. No, if I go look at your birth certificate, you're still that same person. All right. And that's what people gotta realize is you gotta judge you. You gotta stop letting the outside noise judge you, right? But that very, very critical point. So I'm looking through the new productions right now. So we're gonna move to the interactive section. So before we move on, I want to ask the listener something real. Who checks on you? And some of them I've been looking through. So all right. So we got Skio from Mrs. Tyler. All right. We have Georgia, the Mrs. If you feel like you're unable to release your own emotions because you are that strong friend, yes. How do you regroup before it becomes too much? So the question becomes if you feel like you are unable to release your own emotions because you're that strong friend, how do you regroup before it comes too much?
Boundaries.
Yeah,
I
we're taking
think
steps
boundaries is
toward
a
it.
huge one. Huh?
I think we're taking steps toward fixing that problem. For a prime
Yep.
example, you think about how Silk's answer was. He said that his, significant other. Hold on, somebody. All right. His significant other asked him questions, throughout the time, make sure he's okay mentally, where he's at. So I think by him at first not being able to mention his issues, to growing to the point where he's able to talk about them to her, like this is what I'm dealing with. That's a step forward. That's growth. So sooner or later we're gonna get to the point where we can actually just start, having a conversation without being asked. So like I had the same issue with my wife, my spouse. She had to ask me what's going on, what's wrong with me, am I okay? So, I want to get to the point where, like, when I feel like I'm not there, I'm not 100%, fully in tune with my emotional side, I say, hey, love, something wrong. man, we can have a conversation. She can walk me through what I'm dealing with. But right now it's a crawl walk phase. So, and we'll run later on. But yeah, I think we're growing, and I think that we as men, even with this podcast, we're also ministering to people who dealing with the same things. And I think with this, it's gonna help us and people that's watching along and our viewers.
I like that. That was a very good answer. And shout out to the AKs for that one. All right, so we got one from Mel. Shout out to Mel. Okay, and this was in reference to back we were talking from Mrs. Hattie May. Have jealousy in your heart. I 100% agree with that. You cannot be afraid to allow people to come into the fold and to just be a helping hand when in reference to that. Y'all also don't see yourself as a priority because you're so busy saving the world. Yep, and I
Facts.
think that just stems from episode one. Is just I think that we do have to do a better job of choosing us and like what Coach just said, setting those boundaries. And I know I always talk about a simple example of, you know, when you're at work, you know, if your boundary is I'm going to have lunch with my wife or my spouse or whatever, and that's a boundary that I'm going to have every single day, hold that boundary and make that a priority, right? That's a time to reset. That's a time to, spend the day with your significant other, your spouse. That's things that we have to do in order to keep the fire going or whatever it is, to have that reset. Maybe it's grounding us to check our mental space throughout the day. Those are things that we must do.
Piggyback on that, I just set a boundary today with my kids, right? And when I told them was, even though my athletes got my number, hey man, I leave this joke about 5 o'clock every day. You got till 7. After 7 o'clock, do not hit me up, do not call me, do not text me, do not do anything related to football or any athletic wise. I will see you tomorrow morning.
I like that. I like that. All right. So, all right, this is a good one. So, coming from good old Keon Cummings, would you say that the cultural
Oh,
mindset of slavery and the Willie Lynch theory plays a part in that? All right, so let me explain the Willie Lynch theory just so everybody is aware. So Willie Lynch was a British slave owner who developed a theory on how to essentially control a slave. And what the theory said was it uh, it was a theory that explained that in order to control enslaved black people, you had to turn them against each other. That was pretty much what it was. And what I will say to that is I do understand the perspective, and I will actually agree. And the reason that I agree is because the sad reality of a lot of things that we do is, as much as I would like to say that you get a lot of the praise from your own community, sometimes the biggest, like the most hate you receive is from your own community, unfortunately, for whatever reason, you know. But what I will say is, we as a community have to do a better job of uplifting our own. You know, if a person in our community has an idea or they're doing something in the community, we have to be willing to get behind them and support them in the same manner as somebody else. I think that that's really the only way to kind of change that mentality when it comes to that. But I do definitely agree, because that kind of goes back to what Silk was saying about slavery and how it goes. So definitely relevant and definitely a valid point. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
yeah, I have a thought on that. Friend, please stop using this word so loosely. The word friend. Be careful who you say are your friends. And that goes for frat brothers, family, cousins, homeboys, work people. I've been burnt in my life by so many people that I used to say that's my friend. I'm just doing and doing and doing. for these people. But as I got much more mature and older, everybody's not my friend. And I don't use that term loosely anymore because um, those are the ones that are tearing you down. Some of the closest people to you are the ones tearing you down. Um, you have to observe people. You have to talk to people. You have to communicate. Everybody that's in your organization, I'm gonna say it. If y'all don't say it, everybody in your organization is not your friend. They may be your brothers, but everybody in your organization is not your friend. Everybody in your organization may be your sister, but it's not your friend. And I think that once you go through this, and I know a lot of y'all say y'all are new to the D9 and y'all just coming up, and I'm 16 years, I'm still new and learning, but I just want you all to know you all some good brothers. Y'all are doing great, but be careful on who we say are your friends, and stop spending energy on people that you say you're friends. And then once you realize after you communicate and talk, like Coach, you were saying earlier, we need to how we go on Koncrete. You were saying earlier how we get these people back into the fold. How we go, once you got to talk to people. Once you talk to people, you'll see that everybody ain't in the same mindset that you are, and your friend group will start decreasing, and then that's when you find your true friends. So I'll leave it at that. But let's not use the word friend so lightly in the world.
We need to drop a bomb on that one. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, and that's why I said that I, as much as I don't want to say it about the community, we are the biggest haters, and I say you're the biggest haters. You can line up the same qualifications and same thing, and there will be so much hate toward people that look like me or look like us. For whatever reason, I don't understand what it is. But all right, so moving on
Hey,
to
hold on, Country.
David
I want
Griffin.
to add one thing to it,
Oh,
Country. Hey, as far as the community, like a lot of people try to play the D9 against each other too, saying that the AKAs and the Deltas don't get along, or that the Noops and the Qs don't get along. Like I got some decent battle buddies that I served with in the military. They are alphas and Qs and like Silk. Like when we see each other in plug, we greet each other, number love, it's all respect. So I think that people who are outside of the D9 try to play us against each other, so we don't have the much power or effect that we can possibly have. Like you think if the Noops and the Qs got together, man, we can do like a lot of things. We can do voter registration drives. Like we can touch community on a bigger level. But I think that the agenda is for us not to have that brotherly sister relationship because they know the power that we can have in the community. So yeah, that's part of the Willie Lynch syndrome or the textbook that he's trying to preach because they want us to be separated and they want to play us against each other.
absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. All right, so moving on to David Griff. Let me tell y'all a quick story about Mr. Griff. Back when I was a private and a corporal in the Army at Fort Leonard Wood, he was the ref. This is how crazy it is, right? But man, he was a good. I still remember him many years later, right? And he's on the live right now. So shout out to you, good brother Griff. I appreciate you, brother. But he said therapy is crucial, and sometimes we don't seek. Uh, yep, it was flag. Yep, flag. We don't seek it for. That goes right back to everything that we talked about. Uh, Georgia said exactly. Griff, 39 years in a bond. I understand what you're saying. Flag on the play, yo yo. So that's what we got in the comments for right now. I appreciate the love. I appreciate you guys coming through in the comments. All right, so we're gonna move it on to our signature segment before we close this thing on now. All right, so Concrete, it's time for you to move into Concrete's truth. Go ahead and give the people the concrete truth.
The truth is that black men are still using the word stigma to get in therapy and seeking help as a sign of weakness. I think that as we continue to do this podcast and reach out to other brothers and people in the D9 and the community outside of D9, that we can strengthen the community to show that therapy works. I get therapy. I mean, I didn't start therapy until after like end of my career in the military, but it started from just issues that I had with the military, things I went through when being deployed, Purple Heart, being blown up and stuff. But that therapy also moved into my relationship, my marriage. So like I think that showing brothers, young brothers, and people later on down the line that therapy is beneficial, not just for you but people around you.
I like that. I like that. Uh, as always, you always gonna give it to us exactly how we need. All right, Coach. We're gonna move into Coach's corner. So let's take a walk into Coach's corner. Go ahead, man. Break it down for us so we can make sure that we're fundamentally sound as we step into Coach's corner. Oh yeah, take that sip, my boy.
So just to gather everything up that we kind of talked about, we talked about brotherhood, we talked about fellowship, we talked about actually getting to know each other when moving on, within the organization, as well as being that strong friend or being the recipient, right? Because you could be the recipient of the strong. Um, I think in all of that, uh, you have to not only set boundaries, not only be able to create that line
Bluetooth connected.
between giving too much and receiving too much. You don't want to pour out your cup to where it's empty, but at the same time, you don't want to continue to get everything and get overwhelmed and let that cup overflow as well. So, with that, I think people in your life come in seasons, right? Whether that's a friend, whether that's a lesson, whether that's somebody who you needed in your life at that time or you needed to be in their life at that time. So I got to leave you with my quote of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now. Come on now. Talk to him.
My quote is from Margaret Avery, right? She says, in life, God doesn't give you the people you want. He gives you the people you need to help you, to hurt you, to leave you, to love you, and to make you the person you were meant to be. Say that one more time.
Say it one more time, brother.
She says, in life, God doesn't give you the people you want. He gives you the people you need to help you, to hurt you, to leave you, to love you, and to make you the person you were meant to be.
Hey, last week I had to go ahead and bring it. I mean, last episode I had to bring it home.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you.
So we gotta let Silk state of mind. We gotta he's always coming in bringing that heat for us. So we gonna go ahead and step into Silk state of mind. So go ahead, Silk, drop us with a gem. Let us know something that the people can take with them from this episode.
Hey, so from the silk state of mind corner, I just want to leave everyone with this: the strongest people are not the ones that fall; they're the ones carrying the most weight without no one noticing. So before you think or assume that the strongest friend is okay, check on them, listen, and ask, because the strongest friend's shoulders get tired sometimes. And I'll leave it at that.
I like that. Very simple and to the point. Very simple and to the point. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into the community spotlight. All right, so before we close, I want to shine a light on some incredible people and programs making an impact in our community. So we're gonna get this thing started with Silk.
All right, for the spotlight, August the 22nd, Killeen, Texas, Applebee's, the men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Omicron Pride Chapter, is having our annual pancake breakfast. It's going to be on Saturday, August the 22nd from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. $10 a plate, or if you just want to come up there and meet some of the good brothers and some of the community leaders, come up there, show your face. But this is all for community, scholarship, and feeding the hungry. So please come out and support. I'll send over the flyers so we can post so everybody will know. But thank you.
All right, we're gonna move it on to Koncrete.
Oh, the Clean Education Leadership Foundation also doing their brick fundraiser where you can purchase a brick. You can customize it how you want to. Put your D9 logo. The bricks running from $150 to $300, and just support the foundation with our scholarship and banquets coming up this fall. Also, our 50th Charter Day anniversary is coming up. Tickets should start going on sale soon. Look out for that, the flyers. Stay tuned to the Facebook, Instagram page. Promotion will be coming out soon.
All right. Transitioning over to Coach.
Same thing, we got our 50th coming up January. On the back end, I think it's January 30th. That's Saturday. So, we'll be planning and preparing for that. As Koncrete stated, information and promotions will be coming out soon.
Wait. Hold on. Hey, Coach, didn't you just get a new position or something?
I did just get a new position, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, boy. Y'all know as in my title, Coach, right? I moved from Marlin High School to Pflugerville Connolly High School. So I will be in Pflugerville area, football, secondary, track coach. And yes, Colleen is in our district.
Yes, sir. So, shout out to my dog. He's always making things happen, moving around the city. So I like to go ahead and shout out to the Columbus Alumni Chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I'd like to shout out to Phoenix City Elementary School and the Community Schools United for the backpack drive that was conducted in Phoenix City, Alabama. Also, I would like to highlight the all-white party on Friday, October 2nd at the Infantry Museum in Columbus, Georgia. Tickets are on sale right now. You can get the early bird special, $75, or general admission at $90. If you would like a ticket, send me a message and I will help you get that ticket. Also, there will be a raffle to get a ticket to come to this party. So make sure you tune in and listen. I would also like to give a shout out to Kendrick High School, Shaw High School. My wife is a teacher at Kendrick High School. I wish her a very successful year as she goes. And shout out to everybody in Georgia. I hope all those kids and teachers have a successful year. And that is it for my spotlight.
I got one more shout out.
What you got, my boy?
Man, shout out to my boy Davion Lewis, one of my track athletes, man. Summer track, he did he won state in the long jump 24/7, and he will be going to the Junior Olympics to compete in the long jump.
Yes, sir. Hey, did we shout out the people in from Houston?
Breakfast Club and them? Yeah.
Yeah,
we did.
Okay.
Last.
Hey, I got one more thing for Silk. Hey, it's a short notice, but next Tuesday is 11th. Let's do a 1911 challenge. See how many noops and Qs can show up at Strikeout Wings, downtown Killeen.
That's a good one.
Let's show up and show out.
When?
Next Tuesday on the 11th.
That's a good one.
Hit it. What time?
1911.
Hey, 1911. Come on, you know
Oh,
what time.
I thought you were saying, I got you. Let's get it.
Let's show up.
Show up and show out.
And we showing letters. Showing letters and showing love.
Shout out to
Okay.
Strikeout
Showing letters and
Wings.
showing love.
If you on the live, 1911, we showing up at Strikeout Wings,
Strikeout
downtown
Wings,
Killeen.
baby. Hey, 69% Tuesday, baby.
I got you.
I hope they got enough.
Oh, we gonna show up. We gonna buy them out. We gonna buy them out.
You'll buy my.
All right. So here we go. We have got to, the saddest part. I know y'all hate for this to end, but until next time. Brothers, thank you for joining us for episode 4, The Strong Friends. I'd like to leave you guys with this. Being dependable is a blessing, but it shouldn't be a burden that you carry along. Silk, I want to thank you for coming back and blessing us again with your presence. Coach, Koncrete, you guys are always holding it down, and y'all are always solid. And to our listeners, we appreciate the support. We appreciate the love as we continue to grow our vision. Stay real, stay grounded, stay growing, because who you are goes far beyond the letters. And as always, yo to the good brothers.
You are okay. You are okay. We are okay. Hello me, self-responding to the statement you made. And now you got me wondering, standing in this bathroom with your reflection in the mirror. The thoughts of me needing you is getting much clearer. I'm standing by your side so you won't feel alone, because silence gets dangerous when pain feels like home. You are not wrong for fighting.